Iron Lung is the latest video game adaptation, though on a much smaller scale. Uh, Directed, written, and starring Mark Fischbach, aka Markiplier, a YouTuber. Um, the movie's actually pretty good. As we find out, there is some kind of quiet rapture on Earth. The stars and the planets are gone. But then we find something that has an ocean of blood. And because blood is so thick, we can't see through it to properly map it, so they build a sub, they send a convict to go study it, to map it out, and that is played by Markiplier. Now, I've never played the game, so I don't know how closely this actually follows the game, though I do want to check it out after this. But it's a fascinating concept. It's a fascinating movie, because they don't know exactly what they're looking for. They just know this is an ocean of thick-ass blood, and they don't know what's down there. They don't know if it's like ours, and there's some kind of fish, and there's just, mountains and blood version of seaweed. They don't know. It's being mapped by a camera, though as we find out, it's an X-ray camera, because, again, blood, not see-through, and the only way to actually look and see into blood is through X-ray. So that was actually a pretty good attention to detail. I'm assuming that's from the game, but I'm glad and if it is, I'm glad they kept it for the movie. In his adventures, he finds a skeleton, but it may not be a skeleton. Maybe something alive. Or it's just a skeleton. We don't really know. All we know is that they want him to just simply ram it to get a sample of said potential skeleton. And that is when all hell just absolutely breaks loose for our convict. We find out that there may or may not have been others, even though he's been told that he is the first and only person to be sent down into the blood. He may or may not be hallucinating, and that could be because of a lack of O2, or it could be something that's outside the sub in the blood that's making him hallucinate, that's speaking to him telepathically. Again, anything is entirely possible, because we don't really know, and that's one of the few small issues with this movie, is that there's more questions than answers. Now, the movie does have a lot of mystery, it does have a lot of intrigue, and it is pretty tense and a little scary at times. But because there's so many unanswered questions, by the end of the movie, it does leave you scratching your head. Markiplier is pretty solid director, and he does offer some solid acting. He does have some moments that are a little like, it's like, I don't know, man, you maybe could have done that a little bit better. But this is not only his first major film role, it's also his first major directing gig. So he gets major props from me for even pulling this off. There are definitely moments that are hard to hear. I don't know if that's because I had to go to not my local theater because they randomly shut down for like unscheduled maintenance. I just get an email and like, hey, your movie's canceled because we're shutting down. It's like, what? So I had to go to a different theater. So I don't know if it was just their PA system, their speakers, or if that's just how the movie is. But if that is how the movie is, it would have been helpful if there was some kind of like captions, just so we know exactly what's being heard, what's being said. That could also kind of be a part of the mystery and intrigue, is that we don't know what's being said, we don't know what the conversation is, because again, we don't know what exactly this ocean of blood really is. This movie also incorporates a lot of great uses of close-ups, mostly of Markiplier because he's pretty much the main actor. We do see two other people at one point, but it's through glass because this entire movie takes place inside this little submarine. But the close-ups of him, the close-ups of the instruments, close-ups of blood, it's all very good. It's all very great use. It also incorporates a lot of darkness, which can be a little overbearing at times. There's a few moments where it's like, it would be really good to see what's happening right now. Just audio in itself can be scary. But with a movie with so much unanswered questions, so much mystery, so much of that. It would have been good to literally see some things. But at the same time, it does use that darkness to its advantage. So it's like it's a fine line. Now, as we find out, Iron Lung has broken the world record for most use of blood in a film. It defeated 2013's Evil Dead, which was 30,000 gallons of fake blood. Iron Lung reportedly uses 80,000 gallons of fake blood. And there's definitely a lot of blood. There's a lot of blood. Again, it's an ocean of blood. But I don't know, just kind of watching the movies, it to me it seems like Evil Dead has more. Because, even though it's the obvious an ocean of blood, I don't know, I feel like the use of the blood, I don't know, it could have been incorporated and presented better. But in general, Iron Lung, it is an overall very good movie. The creature, the alleged creature, we only really see it through these like X-ray images. There may or may not be a moment where we do kind of see it, but we don't know if it's our convict hallucinating or if we're actually seeing it. So again, more mystery and intrigue. Markiplier does a great job in his big screen debut, and while the movie does have its issues, Iron Lung is still a solid horror movie. I give it a B+. Thanks for watching this episode of Fatman Inc Horror. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and to see more horror reviews as Fatman Inc Horror begins to take shape. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.